Athlete repetitive overuse injuries are on the rise nationally. We talk about this a lot, like all the moms on teams and stuff. Yeah, you worry about that.
Well, physical therapists say the injuries can be very painful and affect athletes' daily lives and careers. KMU8's Katie Camerata tells us about one woman's battle with her overuse injuries.
Jamie Marmolejo has played sports all her life, but after years of repetitively using her shoulders, she dislocated them and has had to live with the pain ever since.
They will dislocate when I sleep because put your arms behind your head, just trying to relax, and they'll just pop out, or like carrying something too heavy, they'll pop out.
Although she sees a trainer now for rehab, she regrets not listening to her trainer in high school to prevent this pain.
I just continued to play and against doctor's orders, just kept going, overused it very, very bad. And so now both shoulders dislocate, like on command, I can dislocate them.
Marmolejo uses braces and athletic tape to stabilize her muscles during games, but physical therapists say to be careful when using braces.
If they're in an acute flare-up of an injury, braces should help. But when you're back to where you're not painful, you don't want to rely on a brace because then you're not using your muscles.
Koo Summers says one of the most important things in recuperation is recognizing the injury quickly and finding help before it gets too bad. From there, she would look at how the patient moves.
So if I'm going to kick a ball, I'm going to watch you kick that ball and see if there's anything unusual or poorly moving kind of situation, and we will try and correct it.
If movement correction does not help the injury, physical therapists then move on to rest, ice, compression, and elevation. If the injury still causes pain, the patient may have to wear a splint or a cast to prevent using the injured muscles. Katie Camerata, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
After PT rehab, Koo Summers says it's important to continue using the workout and stretches. Keep in mind, if you don't do the workouts regularly, you could face the same injury again.